We are back working on this old, early 80s Toyota Hilux. This thing has been a fight, I tell you what. There is so much rust, so much crud underneath the car. It is just a battle to undo a simple bolt that is in a place that you can access it. So imagine what it's like when there's ones that you can't access very well. It's just hard work, but I got a number of mates that have been coming down to help out. Today is no different. We've got Benny coming down from Benny's Custom Works, and there's a lot to do. So last time we obviously sent our flywheel away to get machined. That is going to be back any minute, which is pretty exciting. We're going to be rebuilding some brakes, though we have a massive problem with the brakes, and that is that we've worked out that one side of the rear is totally different to the other side. They're from different cars, so the parts that we have ordered are not compatible with both sides, which is a strange thing in itself. Speaking of which, almost all of the parts that we've needed for this car we've been able to get through Supercheap Auto from the special orders on their website. You can literally jump on, there's over 1 million parts on there. Big stuff that you may not be able to find in store, and smaller stuff that you may not be able to find in store as well. One of those things, which is going on today, is a new Carby. Isaac's going to be back as well. This is actually a 180 Holly Carby, but it's in a Weber box. We are going to be ripping off the old Carby. That's the first thing I'm doing today. That is going to be thrown in the bin, and then Isaac's coming back. He's getting this one that's been reconditioned, and he's going to be rejetting it for more power, because we want more than 80 horsepower. Even one more would be great. So let's run the graphics. Thank you very much to Supercheap Auto Special Order for sponsoring this build series. You will see this car soon on a TV commercial for Supercheap Auto on old school TV and no doubt on the internets as well. Very excited to be involved. Let's kick into it. Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods. Very excited to be back working on this Hilux again. This car is old. It is thrashed. It is a complete nugget. And while we have purchased a lot of nuggets over the years, particularly sight unseen from Australia and Japan, when those cars come in, they're from an era that we somewhat have some understanding of. Cars that were designed in the 70s like this, Hiluxes that were just designed to be workhorses, are not something that I have any experience with at all, which is why I'm enjoying learning, but it is a challenge. So luckily we've ordered everything that we've needed in advance through the Supercheap Auto Special Orders website. So we've got a bunch of boxes sitting up the back. As we uncover different problems and different things, we're making more orders as we go, and I might need to go down in store as well. Today we do have a special guest coming to visit, that is Benny. Isaac's also going to be here, but the first job is that Carby there. I'm going to rip it off and throw it in the bin. This is a carburetor, and its job is to mix together air, petrol, hopes and dreams using nothing but vacuum, jets and some electric space wizard magic, but with no electric at all, no ECU and no sensors, just old school mechanical mayhem that can actually sound pretty good. But after a detailed inspection, I'm pretty sure this one is about to get thrown in the bin. What's going on here?
This is a Nicky carburetor, and it's similar to what we're replacing it with, but there's a lot more other garbage there. Like all these little devices known as dash pots, which are like smoothing out the transition of the throttle opening and the throttle closing. So there's a lot of things about this that kind of makes it maybe more drivable, pretty smooth, but there's also a lot of things that are going to wear out in 30 years. So what we're doing is we're going to bin this and we're going to replace it with something that's more of a performance orientated carburetor. Very similar 2-barrel design. It'll have a primary and a secondary, which this also has, but it's pretty much just going to delete all these extra things that we just don't need. Okay. So we're going to get maximum dorts and none of this like soft throttle opening and closing. We're going to get like a much more visual driving experience, I would assume. And this is complicated and old. Things just wear out, you know, throttle shafts wear out. You can get vacuum leaks through throttle shafts. They're not easy to tune. Yeah. Was probably perfect for this vehicle 30 plus years ago, but now it's needs an upgrade.
Do some people like Carbys? Like it's actually preferable to them?
They're pretty strange, but at the racetrack they could carry a pocket full of jets versus a laptop, cables and you know, a bunch of other things.
Horses for courses.
Horses for courses, yeah. And you know, it's a hands-on kind of thing. A lot of the carburetors that are performance orientated are more serviceable. They're easier to adjust things, change jets in 5 minutes. This is a job. You need to pull it apart, replace things and put it back together, and like
in some ways probably makes more sense for people
Yes.
In some ways, it probably makes more sense for people because it's a physical thing. You can change jets and you can see something as opposed to plugging in a laptop.
And
but it kind of
up.
feels to me that it's going to be a bit of a dying art because who's going to keep teaching people how to work on carbies?
And in a 1 second rundown of what a carburetor is, well, it's just a metering device. So a certain amount of airflow goes through it. There's things called venturis that are in there that make a pressure drop. Fuel is allowed to come into the airstream via that pressure drop with a head of fuel pressure behind it, and it's self-metering. So we're not jetting specifically for the engine, we're jetting for the size of the carburetor and how much airflow can go through it. 180 is probably 180 CFM, which is probably a 90 horsepower carburetor for a 90 horsepower car. So that's really rough maths, but it works. There's heaps more maths in this when Toyota obviously manufactured it. Yeah. This is your daily driver cool thing that would have had a lot of niceties about it. We're deleting all that for some dorts and simplicity.
Yeah.
So yeah, just put that over there, mate.
I'll just...
Yeah, just bin that, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we don't need that shit.
Sorry, but it's in the bin. Yeah. So meanwhile, over here, Isaac is building or rejetting a reconditioned one that we have, which we thought was kind of reconditioned, but it may have been sitting around for a while because you were saying some of the jets are already not jetted, right?
Yeah. For instance, if you can see this on the camera, this is an accelerator pump squirter. So one for each barrel. This is when you initially hit the throttle. This is your throttle enrichment. One's blocked and you can see one's open straight away. So these things are made out of zinc and other soft metals that are really, really susceptible to corrosion. So sitting in Sydney with 70% humidity, this stuff can just get a bit gummed up doing nothing. So it always pays when you buy a carburetor. Pull it apart, check it. Check the float height. I'm about to adjust the float height, which controls how much fuel level we have in the carburetor. And I'm checking all the jetting and doing the maths. So hopefully it's a one shot for us, but usually with carburetor things, you might have one or two goes at it to get the car perfect, but we're going to get it in the ballpark.
I'm coming in for a quick cuddle.
Oh.
You're a very smart, clever and nice guy.
Thanks, bro.
And that's a really amazing combination of things.
Oh, thanks, mate.
And I appreciate you.
Mate, I appreciate you. And your outfit, by the way.
This is not an outfit.
Yeah, I love it.
This is not an outfit. This is what I wear, dude.
Oh, sorry, dude.
This is my clothes.
Really?
I know you might be wearing a 70s overall situation. This is my clothes, dude.
It's brilliant. I love it.
It's not brilliant. It's just my clothes.
Stop pretending, man. I don't know why you're pretending.
Isaac's going to spend a couple of hours making sure that this carby is absolutely perfect, which means he's going to blow it apart and check every single component. And while he's doing that, I'm going to keep replacing other worn out junk on this Hilux. Plus, get to installing my new Extreme clutch. Now apparently these Hiluxes had a 1 ton load capacity in the back. 1 ton, more like a ton of automotive knowledge. Benny's been here the whole time, just passed out in the back.
Good day.
He had a breakdancing accident and he's been back in there just having a little sleep. And now he's it's finally time to wake the giant.
Oh, that's what that was.
A giant of automotive knowledge.
Good day.
And a man with a giant heart. One of the most cleverest, funniest, kindest, beardiest man I know. You would have seen him on our show for probably almost the last 20 years. He's been there since the beginning and he probably won't be here again after I show him what I need him to help me with today. So let's just get amongst it and start getting filthy. How are you, Benny?
I was sleeping.
What are you working on, Benny? You working on a Toyota as well at the moment?
I am working on a Toyota at the moment. I have a GX81 that I'm putting a 2J in.
Oh, nice. That sounds a little bit more exciting than fixing an old Hilux.
Oh, I don't know. It was heaps easier to get into this when it was on the ground out there a week ago when I fell asleep.
Benny, by the way, do you know what I'm thinking? At the moment, we're just trying to get this thing ready and rolling and fixed again. But what I'm actually thinking, which you might get excited about, is actually... I've had to censor this part of the conversation for your own safety because what you hear may blow your wormhole too far.
I support this.
We've got some pretty exciting plans of what we can do with this car once we get it back on the road, and it's going to be epic. But anyway, let's make it work first.
Yeah, that's the go.
It is going to be epic.
I do like old Hiluxes, actually. A friend of mine has one exactly the same, single cab, long wheelbase.
Is that friend of yours me?
No, you are also my friend, but his one works. I think people like old cars generally just for the nostalgia. Like modern day cars are so vanilla and they don't really have that much personality compared to this old stuff. Yeah, you might jump in it and drive 500 metres and it dies, but if you've got nowhere to be, Why not?
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people, this is probably now not going to be their only car. It's going to be something they've got a bunch of other things.
It needs a birthday, obviously, but...
yeah, one of the mysteries we're still working on is the rear brakes are different on each side. They're from different models.
Oh, cool.
So we'll get to that
handy.
later. Meanwhile, over here, box is out. That's looking filthy. About to do a clutch on that. Here's Isaac. He's doing the things that Isaac does.
I'm very shocked and surprised to see Isaac near a carby with jet drills.
Yeah. And so our first job of the day, Benny, is this is the front end. So basically, these shocks are going in the bin. We've got replacements from all of this stuff that we bought off Supercheap Auto, like special orders. So we basically want to just replace everything we can in here.
Sick. Those shocks are older than me.
Yeah, not original though, hey?
No, they're definitely 80s Munros though. That's cool in itself.
Yeah. Oh, well, they're for sale if you'd like them.
No, you can have them.
Okay, great. So
I'll let you keep them this time, mate. I'll think about it, but...
we managed to get this steering component off here with a combination of ice in a can, you know, that CRC ice can, and then a flame, and just kind of heating one part, freezing another bit.
Bit of fire and ice action.
Yeah, it took about 3 hours. Before we get onto the mess that is the front end, we are going to put the gearbox back in. It's just a big thing. It gets it out of the way and gets a big tick for that job. We are putting in an extreme performance clutch. Hopefully this car will be getting a little bit more abuse, but it should still drive nice as well. This was sent over by ACS. They are an official sponsor of Mighty Car Mods. You've probably seen their clutches in lots of our builds over the years, and we were able to order this through Supercheap Auto's special order on their website. So we have a new pressure plate as well. We'll basically chuck all of this in. Normally we would power tool duck it, but of course we can't do that because it's the late 1970s. So we will hand tool as much of it as we can. Then we'll get a torque wrench, sort all of that out, put the box back in, and then we will move on to the front. All right, people, let's do it. If your clutch is slipping, grabbing kind of weird, or feeling funky, it's probably time to swap it out. A fresh clutch means better power delivery, smoother shifts, and no more stalling at the KFC drive-thru. It's a reasonable sized job, but a great one to get done if you've just picked up an old nugget with questionable history.
Old one? New one. Sounds like the wheel bearings.
Back in 1982, you could buy this Hilux brand new, and you could also buy brand new the Roland SH101 synthesizer, which I use to make this music that you're listening to right now. I'm trying to clean as much of this car as I go because it is absolutely filthy underneath it. We've replaced the rear main seal, and now we can install our freshly machined flywheel using a torque wrench to check each bolt. With our new clutch and all of the supporting components installed, now we can chuck the gearbox back in. That was a great success, so now I can move on to the tail shaft centre bearing. It supports the tail shaft in the middle, especially on longer drive shafts with two pieces, which may be the case in this Hilux because of the long tray. It keeps everything aligned and spinning smoothly so you don't get vibration, knocking or weird noises when you're sending power to the rear wheels. And ours is absolutely flogged, so it's getting replaced. Benny is currently using big hammers to bash things. I believe he's removing a hub. I'm going to go back into the car here and just finish off putting in the gear stick and then put the interior of this back together. And then, yeah, we're getting there. It's enjoyable today. Who's having fun? We're all having a great time, as you can see, and it feels like we've hit that part of the build where real progress is being made. We still need to sort out this foul oil leak, but for now, gearbox oil is going in, and hopefully it's going to stay in. Meanwhile, Benny's having a full-blown fist fight with the upper control arms, but hopefully they'll be coming out soon too. So you probably remember previously I pulled off the carby so that Isaac could put his wonderful, what do you call a wizard's thing that does magic? A wand. His carby wand on it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Mine.
A wand of magical juice. You know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely. Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Oh, good.
That,
Yeah, right. No, it's fine.
Oh, thank you, Benny. Look at that. That's just munted.
Wow.
But when Benny's around, that's not. We actually need that, don't we?
Benny wins the fight.
I really wanted to put that in the bin. The point, I'm trying to say you're a wizard.
Thanks, bro.
With a magical wand.
Fantastic.
And the wand has petrol in it. And the petrol goes into a carby and get mixed with air and makes our Hilux make more power.
Yes.
Are you with me now?
Sort of. It sounds like a good wand.
It sounds like a good one. Anyway, when I pulled it off, we noticed that underneath it had this. This is an adapter plate, a red line adapter plate. Why, Isaac, if it's got a factory carby, why would it have an adapter plate on it?
I have a sneak suspicion that this car probably went on Club Rego at some point, and I'm pretty
It was
sure...
on Club Rego when I bought it.
Oh, okay, right. So for Club or Historic Rego, you need to have a vehicle that's basically stock, and they're getting very strict with it, right?
Are you saying this was modified and they've returned it to stock?
Yeah. So this has obviously had a life way before us, this car, and it's incredible, but it's kind of just proved the point of what we were saying, is that people modified these, and one of the ways you would do it is put a Weber carburetor or a Holley carburetor. You would upgrade that stuff to something simpler without emission control and all that stuff. Turns out that adapter plate suits the carburetor that we have, but furthermore to that, the previous owner who needed to convert it back to an original carburetor just left it in play. So it's kind of acted increasing the plenum volume, which is actually a thing for performance and carburetors, right?
Oh, really? Just spacing it out gives you more zorts?
Yeah, it's a common thing. So you're increasing the plenum area underneath the carburetor. There's a lot of science behind that, which I'm probably going to get wrong. But basically, there's more volume in the intake manifold, and it does change the dynamics of it, especially on a non-crossflow heated wet manifold, you would call it.
Yep.
This is actually a thing. So we went to a bit of trouble to chase down an adapter plate, and one's actually on its way, but magically one's here. So we're gonna keep pushing forward, and thanks to those guys who sent it to us.
We also use this as well.
Yeah, this looks like someone's cut a gasket out, or I mean, I can find some more gasket paper and cut another one out, but it looks usable.
Yep.
And at least we can then get it running, and if we have to readdress it later, so be it. It's a very easy thing to remove. So.
But before we stick all that stuff on, we have noticed that at the back of the rocker cover here is where it's leaking. So we take this off.
Yeah.
Replace that. Is there anything else that needs to be replaced while we're here? Because I'm starting to get excited.
Oh, me too. Oh, bro, like we've just been wrenching on this thing, but this is the exciting bit. All 87 horsepower of it.
It's just been so dirty and so rusty that the fact that we can now be in the engine bay, we haven't spent much time in the engine bay for the last couple of episodes.
We haven't. There's one thing I do want to do. I do want to adjust valve clearances, but the factory manual we have only specifies hot clearance. So I'm just going to either math it or I'm going to quickly look up a cold clearance, just because we're not going to start the engine and we probably want to do the cover gasket at the same time and all that stuff. Everything else is going to be straightforward, just bolting and unbolting stuff and making it live.
Yeah, cool. I got another thermostat for it as well, so we'll do that. Oh,
great. Fantastic.
We do spark plugs as well.
Yep. Fantastic.
And just, time for a little fiddle.
Cool.
With the magical wand.
Yeah, it's my favourite bit.
One of the issues with this car that really needs to be addressed is the oil leak. So I'm removing the rocker cover so that we can replace the gasket. It's clear now that the oil is coming from the rear of the engine, so that is something that we can try and sort out. While the engine's open, Isaac's going to adjust the valve clearances. Basically, you're making sure the little gap between the valve and rocker arm aren't too tight or too loose. Turns out that these ones are all over the place. To adjust them, you rotate the crank to top dead center for each cylinder, and then using a feeler gauge, you can check the gap. You get them just right, and then lock them back down. Along with all of the suspension components that we're going to be replacing, and with a better tuned engine and our performance carby, we should be getting a much smoother idle, better performance, and a much happier Hilux. This synthesizer that you're listening to now is a Korg MS-20 semi-modular analog synthesizer. It came out in 1978, the same year that this Hilux came out.
Pretty used to working on old stuff, but it does present its own challenges with being the fact that it's old. People have worked on it before, like you get semi-rounded off bolts, corroded stuff, even just it's not a design of a part like this AA arm stuff I haven't really had a lot of experience with. and just pulling it apart and working out how it goes together and how it comes apart is part of work on this older stuff as well. So sometimes just the challenges of actually working out how it comes apart takes a lot of time rather than actually doing the job. So fortunately in Australia, we're a pretty dry country, so we don't have a lot of corrosion to deal with. If this was in America, first and foremost, something like this probably has already returned to the ground. But if not, after 30 or 40 years, you start to have fasteners, the nuts and the bolts, the physical head size will be different because there's just that much corrosion. It's eaten away at the extremities of the material. So what was a 19mm nut or a bolt may end up being 18 or 17 and there's just no structure in it. So more often than not, you're either going to snap bolts or round them off. So we are very fortunate that is what a 40-year-old bolt looks like in Australia, whereas in America it would be somewhat dusty. So
and in the UK, probably pretty rough as well.
Same deal.
That's like salting roads.
Yeah, a lot of that northern hemisphere salt, especially even the northern end of Japan as well, Hokkaido up that way as well. Like you get a lot more salt and corrosion. So there's probably a lot of envious mechanics looking at that right now, going, "Oh, you've got it easy." But we are pretty fortunate here to not have all that corrosion issue.
It makes sense though why it is so neglected. Like Isaac's in there now doing valve clearances. We found a manual actually in the back of the car. So it came with like an actual manual for the car and a bunch of other bits. But so that hasn't been done. There's an exhaust leak. Like everything's thrashed under there, and it makes sense why someone hasn't paid to get it done because it's not the parts, it's the time.
It'd be like a $7,000 or $8,000 job. Like all the stuff we're doing over the course of the project, like easily, like there's probably $3,000 worth of parts, like hard parts. But there's probably 4 to 5 in labour. And that's probably being kind of conservative as well. So
and it's interesting because if you're working on something newer like an 86 or a BRZ, everything that we've done today that is applicable to that car, you would do in one day.
Well, you're not doing a valve adjustment for a start.
And it's 4 to 1, like it's taking 4 times long. Did you use a drill? Did you use an electric drill?
No, I didn't.
Isaac, did you use a drill?
No.
Why is there a drill here?
Oh, actually, maybe I did.
Did you use a drill?
Oh,
dude!
You know what I did?
What'd you do?
I'm not angry, I'm disappointed.
Come on, man. We
talked about it.
Dude,
I'm
what's
sorry.
going on?
I had a moment. It was just like a little Tourette's freak out or something. But what happened is I was trying to get that stupid rear main out of the back of the engine, and it wouldn't come out. And it was made of like Bakelite instead of rubber.
Why didn't you talk to me, dude?
I'm sorry, dude. I know it's weird for me too because I'm anti-power tool as it is, and I broke the rule, man. I'm sorry. I stepped out of my lane. Sorry, bro.
Well, you know what? Unfortunately,
do you want me to finish up?
Pack up your tools and go.
You've been banned
I actually don't
from
know how to do
Survivor
this.
Island.
Could you finish that first?
Yeah.
And then you can
man.
stay. Maybe everyone gets one warning. Do you know what I mean? Because I probably should reveal also now that when putting together the 2 pieces of the rear tail shaft, I had to use this. No. I did have to use this to crack the nut. I'm sorry. Have you used any power tools today, Benny?
I used the lathe. Does that count?
Lathes existed in the 70s? Yeah. Have you used anything else?
No.
Okay, so he's the only one doing it.
But I feel like if you've both used it, I get like a hall pass.
True. That's fair.
Is it like one go each rather than a chance? Is it like you two have now broken the rule? Do I get to even up?
You can have one turn of a power tool for one job.
For like one zap or one task?
One task.
Oh, easy, man. That's
no,
ball
but the
joints
task
all day.
can't be suspension.
No, like ball joints.
A bolt.
No, that's a task and a bolt is not the same.
Well, you used it to do one hole. I used it for one nut. So you can use it for one.
Use it wisely.
Yeah, choose carefully. All right, I'm going to pull the exhaust off. It's leaking.
Mad. Yeah, he's sad.
It sounds like there's an exhaust leak up the front of the car somewhere, but we don't know exactly where it is. This gasket here is going to be the easiest one to change, and we bought a complete gasket kit. So I'm going to change that one first, and if that doesn't fix it, then we'll keep an ear out and see what else we can change. If you are planning on doing some work on your car at home and you want to protect your epic paintwork, of which this car does not have, then you can grab some Mighty Car Mods fender covers. These are magnetized, so literally you get it like that, throw it over your car, it's going to protect it. You're repping Mighty Car Mods. We've got them available on the Mighty Car Mod shop. There's a link up there or there's a link down below. Grab one, it directly supports the show. Plus, something that is awesome to have around your garage or home or workshop. Now, I didn't want to say this at the start of the video because I did not want to get your hopes up, but we're actually going to be turning the key today. Yes, once we've got this engine all sealed up and checked, we're going to be sticking the carby on and turning the key. Yes, you will hear this thing roar into life today. But before we do that, we have to get our carby on and sorted. Now, once it's actually installed, we're going to make sure that the car starts and runs, but later on, we're going to need to do a tune to make sure it's running as best as it possibly can be. And the way we're going to be doing that is a road tune, old school 1970s style. And we're staying fueled up with Caramel Slice, a recipe that first appeared in the Woman's Weekly in Australia in 1970. One of the things I like about this oil cap is it's got like the JDM Toyota thing on it. That is Toyota, right, Benny? That thing? Anyway, that's pretty cool. We're about to stick some oil in here. And what I like about this, of course, we're running Castrol, which we run in all of our cars. Normally we're running Castrol Edge. Now I'm running Castrol GTX 2050. And my favourite thing about it is what it says on the back. It says vehicles are staying on the roads longer. And that means they need experts to keep them moving. There's your experts. Experts who put their trust in the right engine oil, and that oil is Castrol GTX. So we're going to throw this in, and then we're actually going to finish plumbing up the carby, and we're going to turn the key. We're actually going to get this thing running right now so that we can make sure that it's working, because everything has taken longer than expected, as it often does when you're working on old crappy cars. But we just want to see kind of what the state of play is, because I did think by now that we'd be close to being finished, to be honest, but we're not. And that is because everything is old and dirty. But we're getting there, people, and I'm very, very excited to see what this car is capable of, both now and in any other iteration that it takes on over the coming weeks and months. Castrol GTX is an oil that's often associated with older cars because it cleans away old sludge and can also prevent new gunk from forming. It's designed to extend engine life, particularly in high mileage cars like this one. How does it do it? With science. We are going to turn the key and see if we can get this thing started. We don't have all of the parts yet. For example, we don't have our air filter, but because we've pulled so much of it apart, we just want to make sure that it actually works. So we've connected the battery back up, starter's back in, it's full of oil. This is, can I just show them your Haltech quickly?
Yeah, sure. That's my page up button.
That's the page up button there. That is how more power will be put into this vehicle. There you go. So just plug that one in. Yeah. And here we go. Let's see if we can bring the old girl back to life, mate.
Go for it. It's going to take a bit to fill up the fuel bowl. Keep on cranking.
Nice. So we've actually got it running, which is a great success. That is where we're going to leave it for today. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Thank you massively to Isaac, absolute legend. Thank you to Benny, also absolute legend. I'll put their socials and stuff down below, so make sure you give them a follow. Isaac's doing all sorts of clever things with guitars and chimneys. Benny's got his YouTube channel, of course, Benny's Custom Works. I'll link everything down below. Thank you for coming in, boys. There's more to do, a lot more to do. But again, thank you to Supercheap Auto for sponsoring this series. Of course, you can check out the special orders via the Supercheap Auto website, where you can get over 1 million different products. Into four-wheel driving, get a snorkel, get a bull bar, get a Haltech, get a clutch, get brakes, get all the big stuff. We working?
Right. My jetting's good. Need some ignition things, but we haven't got to that yet.
So good. Next time. All right, see you next time, everyone. Bye.